Today I fucked up after getting high with my fiancé. Last night I finally managed to convince my fiancé to smoke weed with me. She's always been anti-420, but now that we're just a few weeks away from getting married and being all grown up and shit, she's gone full YOLO. Fast forward to me seeing my fiancé high for the first time. She became extremely relaxed and talkative. It was cute at first, listening to her go on and on about life and love. But then shit kind of got specific. She mentioned how she never expected to be with someone like me. I didn't even have to encourage her to explain because the floodgates were already wide open. All those details spilled out without any fucking filter. This is what I learned from my fiancé that I never knew before. 1. Most of her past relationships ended because she was notoriously promiscuous. 2. As per number 1, one of those relationships came to an end after she cheated on her boyfriend by hooking up with his younger brother, while also cheating on the damn brother, with his best friend, who just so happened to be the same sex. 3. I'm the first guy she's had to do the fake orgasm thing with. Apparently all her exes pushed all the right buttons whereas I don't. 4. My asthma is a turn off when it comes to sex because she feels like she needs to hold back, so that I don't get too excited and die. 5. All her exes had horse sticks. Of course they did. I'm her first average. Those were some of the key points. I was too traumatized to register whatever else she said afterwards. I don't think I blinked for the rest of the evening. TL doctor convinced my fiancé to get high on relationship destroying weed. Update: even though I knew what my fiancé said would haunt me forever, I was willing to bury it in the back of my mind and pretend like last night never even happened. However, my fiancé wanted to talk, so we did. It was brutal. She said my mom was right about her being wrong for me. Long story short, all of this shit was building up to her admitting she'd been sending nudes to one of her horstick exes. A fucking chat. I'm emotionally destroyed. It doesn't feel real yet, so I have trouble accepting it's over. But it is. Guess I'm returning that ring and getting a PS5. Appreciate all the advice. I know this is Reddit and everyone tells you to dump, but I think this time they may be right lol. Yeah, this was unfortunate but it wasn't to F you. Not smoking that weed would have been. Up dodged a major bullet at the last moment. He'll find the right one eventually, this just wasn't it. I don't know how long they were together but something tells me not for very long. Maybe this was a lesson he needed to learn. Like what the other Redditors are saying, you should talk about it to her when she's sober, and then give us an update. Edit: I just saw the update. I'm really sorry to hear that, man. This would emotionally destroy anyone. But at least you now know the truth before actually tying the knot. It will take time, but I really hope you will recover from this. Removed. Sorry bud. You guys can talk it out and whatnot, but the shitty part is you'll always second guess yourself in bed, which will cause underlying issues in the relationship. Seems their bedroom life was already lacking, if she's faking orgasms and worried about him dying from asthma. WTF? I am very curious how this will turn out. Edit: well, I guess we have our answer now guys. The wedding is off and he's getting a PS5, if he can find one by the end of this year. I commiserate with the op. Yeah, I'm imagining being in this spot and it's not fun. I'm the type of dude that would probably fixate on this. Not nag about it but internalize it and keep reliving it over and over again. There's only one option: on the next day have a responsible talk. Something like you said some things I wish I didn't hear and were honestly pretty hurtful. This is why I have an absolutely no questions policy about previous lovers, their dick size, ability in the bedroom, etc. Hell, even hearing my mom loved David can feel like shit lol. I also don't answer these questions, either. As far as they're concerned, everyone I've been with is the best lover, most attractive, funniest, etc. etc. There's literally no upside to telling your partner your ex fucks better. Wow, that's crazy. Personally, weed has never made me just be honest like that, so maybe that was her excuse to let it all out. But honestly, I talk about it sober. They might not be easy topics you wanna bring up again, but at the end of the day she's her fiancé and you should be able to talk about anything with her. So talk to her, and if she really loves you, she won't cheat on you and be promiscuous. It might be hard to trust after hearing that, but if she's genuinely in love with you and ready to be in a serious relationship, she won't even think about cheating. And honestly, you can still have some good sex with an average sized dick. Like, yes, that matters to some point, but really the connection and communication plays a big role. Because one of my exes I had the best sex with was on the smaller side, so be creative and try new things, and tell her not to worry about asthma, and maybe try to joke about it so it doesn't become an awkward thing. Today I fucked up by having my entire family witness me getting head in my car from my girlfriend. At the time, the tale I'm about to weave happened some time ago. Figured I'd tell this story though, so here it goes. I used to date this girl, and early on in our relationship we were all about the going out to bars phase and hanging out every chance we could. Well, it was a Friday night and my brother was playing guitar at a bar, so I thought it'd be fun to join my parents and my sister and drink and listen to him play. My parents arrived at the bar first, and then my girlfriend and I arrived in my car. We parked a couple cars down from my dad's car. There were a ton of cars, so we found a spot and nestled right in. Cut to an hour in, we're having a grand old time, drinking and yucking it up with my family. Well, I look at my girlfriend and she flashes me the sexy eyes, and of course, me being a drunk and horny 23-year-old decides to flash them back. So I pretend I'm going outside with her to have a smoke, and we go to my car and it's pretty dark out. No one is around. I triple check to look for people, and then when I assume it's safe I pull out my log and she starts giving me the old blowy. Now I'm in the car for a good 15 minutes with her, and we were both drunk, but not completely useless. But we both must have lost track of time because we were so in the moment that we didn't realize the gig my brother was playing let out. I hear the knock on the window first, and we both jump about 2 feet in the air in our seats. I look up. My sister starts walking away shaking her head. I see my mom with the most horrified look on her face. My brother is loading up my dad's car with his music equipment. My dad just turned and tried to hurry my mom back to their car. Meanwhile, my girlfriend pretends to be looking for a contact while I'm struggling to zip up my jeans. The next day my girlfriend and I had plans for dinner with my parents. I wanted to get ahead of the situation to gauge my dad's reaction and to hopefully find out what exactly they saw. So I begin to open my mouth when he cuts me off and says, "So we are having chicken for dinner tonight." Cool, Dad. But insert first name here is a vegetarian. And without missing a beat my dad says, "Not from what we saw last night, unless you have a broccoli dick." Ladies and gentlemen, my father too long didn't read. My entire family caught me getting a blowjob from my girlfriend at the time. The pinnacle of dad jokes right there. Once in a lifetime opportunity, and he grabbed it tightly. Your dad is a legend. My dad hit peak troll dad when he caught me committing the sins of a high school boy and said, "I'll come back later, I see your hand is full," and then left. The full part he meant sarcastically. The old "I lost my contact on your dick" routine. She's a pro. And that's how he became known as Broccoli Rob. His name is Robert, no lie. Today I fucked up by ordering not 1, but 3 adult items, getting next day delivery without realizing, and then silently watching as my dad placed them next to me. I'm never living this down. It's pretty standard for a lot of other sex-related posts here, but it's really destroyed me on an emotional and spiritual level. Obligatory, this wasn't actually today but last week, and I've just been thinking about it every day since. The first thing you should know is that I am not a sexual person. I barely ever have urges. I rarely think about anything like that. My libido is comparable to that of offense posts etc. However, I started noticing that I was becoming increasingly bitter towards things like that, so I decided, you know what, I'm going to try and explore that side of me, maybe bring it out a little more. And so, I did. I bought 2 sex toys, nothing extravagant, just basic, cheap little items, and a bottle of lubricant because I work smart, not hard. Things should be fine. I think to myself, I'll order them and they'll come in a week or so. No one's expecting any packages then, so there will be no issues and they'll hand it right off to me, none the wiser. And then that didn't happen. Can you believe it? No, what actually happened was worse, and proved to me that my dad is a monstrous man who lives to cause me pain. Unbeknownst to me, I was still under my trial of Amazon Prime. I'd forgotten to cancel it after buying a Vulpix plush, sue me, and the package shipped and arrived the next day. Even this should have been fine. No one in my family opens packages that aren't theirs except one little thing. My package came in with my mom's packages. I didn't realize they were coming in that day, so I was still curled up in bed watching TV. When I heard the delivery truck pull up, I thought, oh cool, and then went back to my show. It just so happened that my mom ordered a lot of different parts for her car, and then she assumed the box was one of hers as well without checking the label, since I hadn't mentioned ordering anything to her, obviously. According to my mom, she opened it, thought, oh, my dad must have bought something, and then she checked the label and saw my name. Did she do the respectable thing and tape it back up with clear tape like nothing happened? Did she just hand it to me and walk away silently? No, she went to my dad. Because of course she did. According to my mom, she walked in, said, our daughter ordered sex toys and I don't know how to handle it, and my dad shot up in bed with horror. A moment later, he giggled and jumped out of bed, taking the box from her and saying, I want to give it to her. He walks into my room. I say hey to him and sit up to look at him. He tilts the box towards me to show its contents, and then we stare at each other in silence for several seconds before he sets it down next to me with the biggest grin on his face, and then calmly walks off. Can't look my parents in the face anymore. I might actually have to move out, COVID be damned, because my dad won't stop making masturbation jokes. Too long didn't read. I ordered 2 sex toys and lube off Amazon without realizing I had Prime, which meant that I didn't grab my package when it was delivered. My mom opened it, thinking it was hers, and then went to my dad for help. My dad is a monster, so he came into my room and stared at me while showing me the contents of the box, then set it down next to me and walked out. I think I'm getting an apartment soon. I've seen some comments about my dad being gross or weird for this. My mother is equally as weird, and a fair share of incest comments. I want to assure you all that this is pretty normal in my family dynamic. My parents are very sex positive to the point it's an ongoing joke in our house. They encourage us to explore our sexualities and are just great parents. My mom panicked and went to my dad, her best friend, and as horrified as my dad was, he saw the chance to tease me relentlessly, and he did what any great father would do and took that chance. And to the incredibly odd incest comments, your kink, not my kink. Also, I'm a lesbian and my dad is pretty much exclusively into hot moms, so, you know. Next time he knocks on your bedroom door, quickly turn the vibrator on and yell I'm busy. Power move. Once my friend made me go to a sex store with her because she was embarrassed. We were both 19 at the time. She spent over an hour talking to the shop lady about what vibrator was the quietest, since she shared a wall with her mother. I see my friend later and she tells me she couldn't figure out how to get the vibrator to turn on. Who does she go to? Her mom. That's because she doesn't want her mom to know when she's actually using it. Most disturbing part is her mom was able to rattle off the exact make/model number and year it was made. He's one of those parents. I want one of those. You should wash them in the dishwasher to get back at him. My mom said, quote, listen, if you wash them in the dishwasher, at least make sure you take them out before little sister does the dishes. This only appropriate thing to do is to one-up him and order something like the Moby, world's largest retail dildo, 36-inch. Then have it delivered in your mom's name. This is the best possible response. Fight fire with whale dildos.